Hey everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Raising Adults. I'm Heath Bryant, family pastor here at First Orlando, and I'm so excited you're joining us during VBS week. Wow, what an amazing first day we've had at VBS. Now, before anyone panics, yes, this title is intentional. We believe God doesn't give us kids simply to raise children. He gives us kids to raise adults. Future husbands and wives, future parents, future leaders, and future disciple makers. That means that every phase matters. Every conversation matters. Every car ride, bedtime prayer, and random question before school matters more than we realize. Our mission here at First Orlando is simple: helping people follow Jesus and lead others to do the same. And this podcast is all about partnering with parents to help that happen at home, in real life, in practical ways, without feeling like you need a seminary degree to do it. Each episode this week will be short, practical, and encouraging, and designed to help you continue the spiritual conversations your kids are already having at VBS. And today, I'm joined by our brand new kids pastor, Josh Celestin. Josh, welcome to your first official VBS as kids pastor. Now, be honest, how badly do you need a nap right now?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't need a nap right now. I need 3 naps right now.
3 naps,
I need
maybe a full vacation would be
three
nice.
naps, a vacation, and some days off. It'll be great.
Would be awesome. That'll happen maybe by Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
a little after Christmas is what I was projecting for.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, a lot of people already know you because you're not new to the team. You've served as our preteen pastor for the last 4 years, but you are new to the role as kids pastors. But something parents may not know is this. Before ministry, you were a Christian rapper. You're a videographer, a podcaster, speaker, author. Basically, you're just cooler than the rest of us.
No, I'm not that. I am a husband. That's my proudest achievement. But
well, you did marry up. I
100% did. Like the Lord blesses. All right, He sends us
Absolutely.
blessings and we take it. But just super grateful just to be able to use the gifts and talents that God has kind of given me to kind of serve the church.
That's awesome. We're so glad you're here and doing what you're doing, and you're just doing an incredible job. But the thing I love most about your heart, Josh, is the heart that you have for kids and families. So for parents meeting you for the first time, tell us a little bit about yourself and your vision for kids ministry.
Yep. Well, I think I was born and raised in Connecticut. My parents are Haitian, so grew up in a Haitian family, started going to a French-speaking Baptist church, and so grew up in the church. I always say that I feel like my relationship with God did not become my own till about the time I was 18, 19, where I made the choice to kind of follow Jesus myself.
Right.
I think one of the things that was impactful for me was having someone to help journey alongside me as I figured out what my faith was and kind of owning that for myself. And I think when I look at some of the characteristics of that person, his name is Jean. He's like 10 years older than me, and he just had a way of being present with me. He had a way of creating a safe place for me to kind of just ask questions and do a lot of those things. And then he had a way of just living his life in his own way, making it personal, and me just being able to see some of that in him. So I think as we kind of go step into the season of kids ministry and all of that, that's what I'm excited to help cultivate, is to lead others, the great team that we have, to be able to help others be that person for the few people that they can lead. So super excited about what that could look like.
Yeah, and being present in that and being a safe place is so important, not just in our kids' spaces, but for parents as well, to create that kind of relationship. And one of the things I appreciate is we're not trying to create church kids who disappear after graduation. We're trying to help raise adults who genuinely follow Jesus.
Yeah, no, I think it's important. I think, like I said, even just a little bit of my story of me feeling like making the decision to follow Jesus after high school, I think it was a real point where I could have chose to go another way. And I think just because of the influences that were in my life is the path that I winded up down. But I think that's really true. The problem we're trying to solve is helping kids to build an authentic faith, a faith that's their own. So
that's great. I love that. And speaking of following Jesus, today the kids learned about Jesus calling his disciples. And the big idea that we talked about today is Jesus is the way. And that's really a huge statement in a world where everybody claims to have, quote, their truth.
That is. Jesus is the way can be a very intimidating statement to a lot of people. I think a lot of times we're just used to, we'll do it my way, you do it your way, and we can kind of run into parallels. But I think when just something like that is proclaimed, it just creates a clear divide on, hey, man, this is the way. And are you going to choose to follow that, or are you not going to choose to follow that? And you kind of get the chance to engage in that. So I think our kids got a chance to hear a little bit about that being the truth and what that may mean for them if they do choose to follow him.
Yeah, because he's definitely trustworthy and worth following. And, you know, when Jesus called his disciples, he wasn't simply inviting them to believe something. He was inviting them to follow him. And I think that's an important distinction for parents.
I think the idea of being able to follow someone is it takes practice, it takes intentionality, it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes trust to be able to put your own self out of the way and say, hey, man, I'm going to trust this person that's in front of me and follow what they're doing.
Right. That's exactly right. And that's what we're hoping for our kids, because it's not simply that they know Bible stories. I mean, that's information. I mean, the enemy, Satan, even knows the Bible story. He knows that intimately well. But what matters is that over time, their faith becomes their own. And that really means it's like moving that from their head to their heart. And that's where life change happens.
I agree with that.
You know, we just really want them to decide for themselves what they believe in Jesus, you know, and I think a lot of times when parents hear spiritual conversations, they immediately feel pressure, like they need to give a TED talk, or, you know, it has Bible verses and fog machines and special effects and slideshows. What would you say to the parent that's really wrestling with that?
I love that. Yeah, I think that's not what you need to do.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that let's start
That's
there. You feel relieved of having to do any of that. I just feel like just in my experience and just being able to navigate with fourth and fifth graders for the last few years, their willingness to just have a conversation with someone that is authentic in front of them. So just being able to connect in a real way, just being able to share what God may be doing in your current life, just being able to say I don't know is a powerful thing. Like to not feel like you have all of the answers, for them to be able to see that you may be still wrestling and trying to figure something out.
So good.
I think just speaks volumes for them.
Absolutely. And, you know, as we do this, I think it's really important that kind of to get some parameters for our parents or maybe some guidelines for them of how that actually looks like at home. So what would be some things that you might suggest for how a parent would do that? What does that look like in real time?
In terms of having a conversation, I think number one, you got to just being intentional of carving out consistent times to have conversations. Availability is super important. What's the rhythm and how you kind of talk and have those conversations? I think number two, it's going back to creating a safe place. I think as you're having conversations, sometimes your child will share something with you and you're just like, I don't want you to have that thought, or I don't want you to be thinking that or asking that question, but how you choose to react in that moment is really what's going to determine how much they choose to open up to you. Yeah. So just having bandwidth to be able to hear what's being said without judging what's being said, I think is important.
I think responding, not reacting.
Yes.
Really, just try to respond, not react.
100%. And I think finally, it's just the whole making it personal part of God has uniquely wired you in a specific type of way and created you in a specific type of way. And that means that you have stories and you have lessons that you've learned along the way. And I think it's just always been powerful when people are able to, and parents are able to share some of their story with their kids of just what God's done in their lives and just how he's grown them, and just for them to be able to see that and see that, hey, he can do this for me, but he has already done that for them.
That's right. That's so good. I think, as you're doing this, guys, just remember, just ask simple questions. Just let the kids talk, right? Don't try to answer too quickly. And listening, I think, is super important, and that sort of thing. And at the end of the day, it's not about being perfect. It's just being consistent in that. So good. Thanks for that, Josh. We've got some conversation starters for you today that you can talk with your kids about. And each day we'll have this for you that circles back to what the kids learned today at VBS. So here's some questions for today. What do you think Jesus meant when he said, "He's the light of the world"? The second question is, what does following Jesus look like at school or with friends? And then, have you ever had a moment where you felt confused or afraid and needed help? Those are kind of our questions that we've got for the day. And I can tell you, as a dad of 4 kids, aged 13 to 29, and one who's messed up my role more times than I can count, I think parents need to hear this. You don't have to get this perfectly right. Kids don't need perfect parents. They need present parents. And we're not trying to raise perfect adults. We're helping raise kids who know where to run when life gets hard. Some of the most powerful discipleship moments happen in simple conversations at bedtime, in the car, or maybe even over Chick-fil-A nuggets, right? So, Josh, any last words before we close?
No, thank you for bringing your child to VBS. We're super excited to be able to have them. We're even more excited for the conversations that you all are able to have. We get to have them for a short amount of time. You get to have them for a bulk of the time, and you may be excited or not excited about that. But nonetheless, we're just excited for the conversations that you will be able to build off of after this.
That's so true, so true. And thank you, Josh, for joining us today. Parents, thank you for listening. We're honored to partner with you as we raise adults who follow Jesus and lead others to do the same. And parents, if there's one thing I hope you hear this week, it's this. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be a Bible expert. You don't have to get every conversation right. You simply need to keep showing up. Because over time, God uses ordinary conversations and ordinary faithfulness to do extraordinary things in the life of a child. We'll see you tomorrow on Raising Adults. And remember, God didn't give us kids to raise children. He gave us kids to raise adults.